Right, first up, the Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif will appear today before a Supreme Court-appointed team probing the Panama Gate graft case. Now, Sharif will appear before the probing officers at Islamabad's Judicial Academy, which is temporarily turned into the JIT Secretariat. Now, Sharif has denied any wrongdoing by his family allegedly using offshore companies to buy luxury flats in a posh London neighbourhood, and said that his family wealth was acquired legally. Now, in April, the Supreme Court ruled that there was insufficient evidence to remove Sharif from office on the back of the Panama Papers leaks, but it ordered further investigations. The Supreme Court began investigating Sharif after the main political parties failed to agree on a committee to probe the Panama Papers leak, and the PTI's chairman, Imran Khan, threatened mass protests and to shut down Islamabad.
Especially at a time.
All right, let's now take a look at what exactly do the Panama Papers reveal. First up, the leaks in April 2016 reveal that 3 of the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's children owned offshore companies and assets that were not shown in his family's wealth statement. Now, the companies identified so far include 3 British Virgin Islands-based companies incorporated between 1993 and 2007. Now, these companies have been used to channel funds to acquire foreign assets, including some apartments along Park Lane in London's Mayfair area. The insinuation that the companies were meant to hide or launder ill-gotten wealth or to avoid taxes called his credentials into question. WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Taha Siddiqui joins us now from Islamabad for more on this story.
Well, definitely it is an important day and a historic day in Pakistan, given the fact that for the first time a sitting Prime Minister is presenting himself in front of an investigation team over allegations of corruption, financial corruption. We've seen that his children before this had presented themselves, and now he has also said that he will present himself in front of this JIT today. In a couple of hours, we are expecting that he will be coming in front of this joint investigation team and will be answering some tough questions. From what we understand, basically he has to give information about the money trail that the family has to prove, the wealth and the assets that they have abroad, and this is basically going to be what the focus of this joint investigation team's hearing today will be, in which the Pakistani Prime Minister will be appearing in a few hours.
All right, can we discuss now, can you shed some light on what exactly is the Panama case about?
Well, the scandal basically hit the news last year when we saw the Panama Papers leak coming out, which was an investigation done by some international journalists. Some Pakistani journalists like Umar Chima were also involved in it. And they basically, in Pakistan, around about 400 families were named, 400 people were named in it, including the first family, which is the Pakistani Prime Minister's family. Basically, the thing is, what the allegations are on them is that they have offshore companies and they have taken out wealth from Pakistan through this offshore companies and made assets abroad. For example, with Pakistani Prime Minister's family, the allegations are that he has assets in London, he has apartments, his family has apartments there, and basically the fact is that, and after that this came to surface, the opposition party, Imran Khan's party, they went to the Supreme Court asking for an investigation into these allegations, into these corruption allegations, and then later on the Supreme Court then formed this joint investigation team, and which is now has been investigating this case for the last few weeks and is expected to come to a conclusion in a few weeks' time.
Right, and what would you say the analysts are expecting out of this case?
Well, some of the commentators, the political commentators in Pakistan, are looking at it in a way that they're saying that this will strengthen the democracy in the country, this will bring more accountability, more transparency, and especially of the ruling elite, which in the past has been sort of, not been able to come under this sort of scrutiny that we're seeing for the first time in Pakistan. So given all of that, it does seem unprecedented in that way. But there are some people who also feel that there are other powers that are using this as an opportunity to sort of derail democracy, and because of which there are some concerns. Pakistan for the last this was in 2008 to 2013, Pakistan saw democracy. Then 2013 to now, there was democracy again in Pakistan. And if, for example, the Pakistani Prime Minister has to step down because of these allegations, which a lot of people have asked him to step down because of the fact that they say that he has no moral standing left anymore to be in office. But despite that, they're trying to term it as the fact that it is an attack on democracy. But others say this is the victory for rule of law, and the rule of law, a message to be sent to everybody that everyone in Pakistan is equal before the law.
Right. And Taha, now, will this affect the PMLN political standing?
Well, elections are next year. And given that, this has seriously damaged Pakistan's ruling party, the PMLN, which is the Nawaz Sharif's party, their standing in politics in the country. Definitely people are asking questions. They won with a great mandate last time in 2013's election, but because of this whole Panama scandal and Panama leaks, their political standing has been definitely dented. So in that way, elections are up just around the corner in 2018. 2017 is being considered as the election campaigning year. The political opposition, namely the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, which is the Imran Khan party, and People's Party, which is the Bhutto party, both have really capitalized on this Panama leaks and this scandal, and are using this to gain some political mileage and to gain some edge over the Pakistani Prime Minister, and to remind people continuously that their Pakistani Prime Minister is facing corruption, or even to some extent they say criminal investigations. So given all of that, the political future, the future of PMLN, the future of Nawaz Sharif is definitely in question, and the time to come will tell how this shapes out and how this pans out, but definitely for now they are in danger.
Right, Taha, and finally, would you say that the Prime Minister will be affected by whatever the outcome is?
Well, it's too early to say what the results will be of this, this whole joint investigation team. They're supposed to submit the results very soon, in a few weeks' time, because they had a very limited time frame to come up with their investigations and finish the investigations. From what we understand right now, basically what has happened is that the Pakistani Prime Minister has tried to separate himself from the assets his children own, and to say that he has nothing to do with them and his children are the ones who own these offshore companies, and which is actually true in the sense that the Panama leaks also mention the children rather than Nawaz Sharif himself. So given all of that, first when we saw the Supreme Court, the hearing focused mostly on the fact that how they would prove that it was just the children and there was money involved which was given to them as gifts from, for example, the Qatari royal family came forward to say this, and other Arab families came forward, which we know that the Sharif's family enjoy close relations with Arab families, so they said this money came from them. But then later on, there has been questions about whether or not this is, this is enough evidence and this is actually factual paperwork that they have submitted or not. But what they're trying to do is that they're trying to separate and say that the children may be, involved in these offshore companies, but the Pakistani Prime Minister is not. And whether or not there is a connection between the two, of course they are father and son or father and daughter. So given that they have a connection, but this is what the Pakistani Prime Minister's family has been trying to sort of, create this perception. So we will have to see whether or not, after this joint investigation team comes out with a result, whether or not anything substantive can be taken from it, can come out of it. But for now, it seems like it will be an investigation which will not reveal anything new.